Hey everyone, today we're gonna be doing a lead code question which is to reverse the substring between each pair of a parenthesis. So in this question they are saying you are given a string S that consists of lowercase English letters and the brackets. So majorly like two type of bracket, open and a close on this curly bracket. Okay. They're saying reverse the string in each pair of a matching parentheses starting from the innermost to outermost. Okay, fine. They are saying your result should not contain any brackets. Okay, we'll see like how and what it is actually asking us to do. Let's see the constant they are saying. They're saying this length of a string can go from 1 to 1000, which is pretty low, and they're saying okay the s, or you can say this string is only consist of lowercase English characters and parentheses, and it is saying like it is guaranteed all the parentheses are balanced, so it is not like you might be having first closing bracket then the open, or like you might have multiple opening bracket but not a like valid like closing brackets. So it will be like a balanced one. So let's say like what exactly this question is asking us to do. So, sorry. Yeah. So let's take the first example. So we are given some string S where the alphabet is like in the bracket they are saying A, B, C, D, and this bracket close and the string. So what they are actually asking us to do, like they are saying, you need to reverse this particular set of string between any two pair of a parentheses. So if I say for this particular thing, like it only have one pair of a parenthesis, like it is having one opening and one closing bracket. So we need to reverse this part. If we reverse this part, this means like it will be served with this. Okay, it will be served with this. It will be served with this. Instead of swapping, we can simply print it like okay, it can be like you might have the answer as D, you can say D, C, B, and A. So this is a reverse of this particular case. Now let's take a different example. So we'll look like how actually it is asking us to reverse in between some parentheses. So let's take another example. So here the string is given to us is uh, U, again a bracket. We have LOVE, okay, parenthesis closed, I, and again parenthesis closed. So this is some string. What we need to do, we need to reverse this sort of a string between some parentheses. So if I say, okay, this can be my one parenthesis, okay. So if I say this can be my one parenthesis pair. Again, if I say I have one more pair of a parenthesis, I can say this particular will be my pair of a parenthesis, the another one. Or if I say simply like, okay, so let me say like, okay, I can have this one as a pair with this one. Again, I have this one paired with this one. So I need to swap this one first. So if I swap this part, let me swap this one. So if I say this orange one is swapped, it will become what? E V O L. Okay, so we have swapped this one. Again, now if I swap this part, this parenthesis is no longer required. So let me remove this one. Okay, now they're saying, okay, you are remaining there's one more parenthesis, like pair of a parenthesis remaining. We need to swap again the complete path. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll simply swap this particular all. So let me swap this one. So I'll say I is swapped with O, sorry, U, sorry, yeah. So I'll say, okay, this one is swapped with this one, so it will become I, it will become U. This will swapped with this one, so it will become L, it will become E. This will swapped with this one swapped with this one. So at last I will get the string as like I LOVEU. Okay. So in a string, what we got? So in a string, we got like this. Okay. This was like this one. Okay. We have done the operation and we got like this. This is our resultant, and this was one of our input. Okay, fine. So if you look at here carefully, what we have done. Okay. So if I say this particular input, we got this particular final output. So what we have done, like we have swapped all the characters in between two pair of a parentheses. But we are not sure like if something is given to us in a random order. Let's take another example. So let's see like, okay, some string s is given to us. So I have a, okay, then I have one parenthesis. Let's take one more parenthesis. I have b and c, okay. I have this parenthesis closed. I have d, e, f, and this parenthesis is again having g and f. Again it is closed and this one is closed. Now if you see, we are not sure like what is the pair it will be matching with the next coming parenthesis. So what we need to do, we need to sort of mapping. We need to do some mapping. But if you have done some question on stack, like we will do like, okay, whenever we get this opening bracket, we'll push on the stack. Again, this one will be pushed on stack. Whenever we got the closing bracket, we will try to remove the first opening bracket and will continue our iteration. So let me take this example. So we will be using this stack, or you can say in this question also we have used a stack, but not knowingly. Unknowingly we have used this stack. Let me introduce the stack itself here. So let's take exact stack here. Okay, I have this stack. Okay, I have this stack. Again, what I'll do, I'll just simply keep on pushing the characters over here. So firstly, I have what? I have this particular opening bracket. So I'll push over here. So let me take, I have pushed opening bracket over here. Now I'll push the A over here. Again, I have opening bracket. I'll push the opening bracket. I have B and C. I'll push B and C. So this is our opening bracket, not C. So let me take something else. For now, I'm just writing my bracket like this because you might be getting confused. Okay, this is also like this. Fine. Now I got one closing bracket. So whenever I get the closing bracket, I need to remove all these to the last coming closing bracket. So if I remove, if I starting removing from last, I need to remove till I get any opening bracket. So I'll remove this part. I'll remove this part. So let me take this one. So I might be having something like string or character. I might be removing and storing it over here. So I removed C, I appended over here. I removed B, I appended over here. Okay. And I removed this particular opening bracket. Okay, fine. So let me remove all this. Now, whenever I have this one, I have reversed this part. That means I need to append this one again. So I will be appending my C and B over here. Fine. Why? So if you see over here, this will be swapped once with its own bracket. Okay. And it will be swapped again with any other further coming bracket. So this will be might be swapped again, but for now let's swap once alone. Okay, now we'll push D over here. I'll push E over here. I'll push F over here. Now let me make it small and we'll push some character again. So let me, okay. So I have now what character is coming? I have again an opening bracket. Let's take like this one opening bracket. I have G and F. Now I got one closing bracket. That means I need to remove this part, remove this part. Again, I will be using something, the temporary variable. I will be storing this particular character. So I have a post F. I have post a pop G. Again, whenever I have this opening bracket and closing bracket, I just need to remove from this particular case. So I'll remove this opening bracket from the stack and I'll push whatever elements I have back to the stack. So let's take like, okay, I will push F over here, G over here. Now again, I have one opening bracket, closing bracket. So I need to remove till here. So again, I'll take this one. So it will be G, F, F. Like I'll remove this one. I remove this one. Again, I remove this one. Similarly here, like this, all I'll remove. So I'll say, okay, here it remove. It has been removed like this. Again it is removed like this and this. If you see over here, this particular output we got is a reverse of complete. So if I say this particular string like this, a, let me take a simple thing like, okay, let's take without a parenthesis, like I have a, b, c, d, e, f, g and f. So this is a reversed form of this one. but till when? Inside its own parenthesis. So this part has been swept. Okay, this particular has been swept. Again, this particular has been swept. So internally we have swept this one with this. So let's take like this one is C and this one B and it is F and G. Now we have swept what? So let me write this one like, okay, this is its own characters. Now I have swept this particular thing completely. So G came over here, F came here, F again came here, E came here. So similarly, like we have completely swept all the characters using a stack. So let me write the code for this. Let me show you how it gonna be working completely. So I might be using some stack over here. Okay. So in Python, I can simply use our list. I will be iterating over the characters. Okay, for characters in S. If this character is a opening bracket, so if I say the character is equals to what? Opening bracket. Let's take like if it is a closing bracket, then only we need to do some operation. Otherwise, we'll be appending this particular thing into the stack. So I'll just simply append this particular thing to the stack, or you can say we will be pushing some character to the stack. Whenever we have a closing bracket, then that time we need to do our pop and reverse operation. So I might be using some, you can say string over here, or you can simply use the uh, like array over here. So I might be using some empty string. Now, whenever I got any closing bracket, that time I need to remove all the uh, characters which is between two valid parentheses, like between an opening and a closing bracket. So I'll say, okay, till stack last element, the till the stack last element. You can say the peak of a stack does not equals to what? Does not equals to will is that okay? Does not equals to the opening bracket. Okay, we will be removing this sort of thing and we will be appending this to our temporary variable or temporary string. So I'll say okay, stack dot pop. Whatever is there, just simply keep that in a temporary storage. At last, we will be removing that particular opening bracket, which is of no use. And we will be like keep pushing this again, whatever is in temporary variable, like suppose this is a string in a temporary variable, we will be pushing back to the stack. So in Python, I can simply use like, I'll say, okay, stack dot, I'll say extend. It will be like appending all those things to our stack. So I'll say, okay, this will be like pushed to the stack. Now, if you see like if I say this stack is a array, or you can say a normal array in Python is a stack. So whenever this operation is done completely, I can just return this particular thing. Okay, I'll say okay, this is string dot. You can say join whatever they left in the stack. I'll say this is a stack. You need to just return this particular thing. So let me show you again with the drawing. So here what I'm saying, okay. So whatever we left, okay, what I'm trying to say, whatever we have in this particular stack, uh, just mark it like this. So if you see over here, whatever we have left in this stack is our answer. So instead of like keep pushing, we just we will be having this temporary variable again. We will be pushing over here. At last, we will be having this sort of thing in the stack itself. So instead of like again creating a storage, I just simply print this particular sort of thing in the form of array. So let me compile this code. So I'll simply compile this code. Let me see whether it is doing fine or not, or do we have some error or not. So it is compiled successfully. Let me submit this code. Now, if you see like this code is exactly fine, but if you look it carefully, like we are doing some sort of operations. So if you see over here, if you see like, okay, for this particular thing, we have done only one swap. Okay, so you might think like, okay, the time complexity might be time order of n over here. But it is not a case like for space, it is for sure order of n because we are using the stack, but time complexity is not order of n. If you look some example like this, if I say the input is like, okay, one opening bracket, again one opening bracket, again one opening bracket, now it is closing, and again it is closing, again it is closing. Okay, so I have this particular thing. So if you see over here, this is one valid parenthesis, this is one valid parenthesis. Okay, this is one thing which will be swapping once. Okay, again this is a valid parenthesis, so this will be swapping completely once again. Again this is a valid parenthesis, this will be swapping again once. So if you see over here, if I say okay, this A will be swapped how many times? Okay, one time. This will be also swapped one time. But B will be swapped two times, D also will be swapped two times. 3 here will be swapped how many times? 3 times. Because this particular thing is in between some, you can say, many parentheses, which will be like keep swapping, swapping, swapping again and again till we have n number of valid parentheses. What if like there's only a single thing, like you might have like this, okay? You might have multiple bracket and one character A, again multiple closing bracket. You might be thinking, okay, I will be just iterating over this array once for the stack iteration, so my time complexity is order of n. But it is not the case over here, because I have this particular valent parenthesis. It will be swapping this element once. Again, this will be swapping it again two times. This will be swapping again with three times, and this will be swapping again with four times. That means I'm just iterating over the n for this particular character reading, but I'm just swapping again and again and again how many times till the valid parenthesis. So I might say, okay, my time complexity over here, okay, let's take like, okay, the time complexity over here will be what? We can say, okay, time complexity will be order of n. Uh, let's say like time complexity TC will be what? Order of n into, okay, I'll say, okay, order of n into what? How many valid parentheses they have. See, in worst case, it will be n square, but let's say like in the formula, like in the formal term, it will be order of k, like k is number of valid parentheses, okay, parentheses. So it will be like total character into valid parentheses. So it will be like again swapping n times, or you can say k times, because it is having k valid parentheses. Okay, a pair of valid parentheses. How can we optimize it further? So you might be thinking of some two pointer or like some pointer sort of approach. So let's take the same example. Let's take the string s, which will be like, okay, I'll take A. Here it is B, C. Again, it is, you might have this particular thing, and D. I have this sort of a string, which is a bit small, but it will be using that concept over here. Now, if you see over here, what if like I have started from here, one pointer, I have started one pointer over here. I just keep on swiping this particular thing, again keep on swiping this particular thing. But for this case, it is working. What if like I have some array like this? I have a string like A, okay. I might have a string like this A, again B, it is closed, again C, it is closed. I have G, E, C something and closed. What if like I swap this particular thing, but it will be mapped with this one, or let's say like it will be mapped with this one. This parenthesis got mapped with this one. It will be swapping this particular thing. So I cannot use some two pointer starting from left and right. Neither I can start from both in the front or both in the right. I just need to do some optimization over here. But if you look over here, what I need to have, like, I just need to have a proper mapping. Okay, this particular index is being mapped to this particular case. So we have seen the same in the stack approach over here. Okay, so whenever I have one opening bracket, whenever I have this last opening bracket, it will be mapped with the last, you can say first closing bracket. So if I say this was my last opening bracket and this one was my first closing bracket, so this one got mapped with this one. Again, this one will be got mapped with this one. So I can use the same stack approach using a time complexity order of n, but I will be using some sort of mapping over here. So let's take like let's think this in sort of you can say index formula. So let's take this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I might be creating again a stack over here, like I will be running over here. So instead of like pushing the stack, it's the character itself, I will be pushing my indexes. So whenever I get the opening bracket, I'll push over here, its index is 0. Whenever again I got this particular thing, index is 0, 2. I got one closing bracket. That time what I need to do, I need to do a mapping. Okay, I'll say, okay, mapping of 5. I have this particular 5. I just need to have the first, or you can say last opening bracket. For this particular closing case, I need a last opening bracket. So this is my last opening bracket index 2. I'll say, okay, 5 is mapped with 2, and vice versa. You can say, okay, 2 is mapped with 5. Okay. Again, I got one more closing bracket. I will be mapping with this the first opening bracket. So again, I can say, okay, 0 is mapped with 7, or you can say 7 is mapped with 0. Okay, this got fine. Okay, I just need to know, okay, at what particular index I can do the swapping. So if I might have this mapping, if I have this mapping, it will be easy for me to do the swapping in between this particular cases. So if I say, okay, now I got a swapping of this particular indexes. Okay, fine. What I can do? Okay, I can start from here. I can ignore this particular thing. I can just simply swipe. I'll start from this one. I just simply swipe this one. So what I will be doing, like, okay, so let's take this particular thing again. So I have my mapping over here now. Okay, fine. Let's take this string again, the same string A, B, C, okay, and D. This is our thing. I will be starting over here, like I have this I over here. Now, whenever I get any opening or the closing bracket, whenever I get a bracket, I just need to like do the swap operation. How can I swap? Either I can just simply jump to this particular window, or you can say that the mapping index. So instead of swapping, what I can do, I can simply jump to this mapping index, and we need to ignore this window as well. So I'll say, okay, whenever I get any bracket, I just simply go to its mapping index. So for I gone to this one. So my I came over here. Again, I need to do one more thing over here. I'm not sure if I need to go forward or do I need to go backward. So initially I'll start going forward. Whenever I do a swap, I'll just change my direction. Why? So let me show you with this particular thing itself. So for doing one swap, so if I say, okay, if I do here, I got one particular pair. So I have just jumped to its, you can say mapping index over here. So for first opening, I got first, last closing. You can say first or last thing, like the for most pair I got. So if I got particular index over here, I will simply jump to over here. So instead of going forward, I'll go backward because this thing needs to be printed first. Okay, this will be printed first. As if I say, like, if I swap this one, it will be C and B, and if I swap this completely, it will be D, B, C, and A. This should be an answer, right? Okay, this should be an answer. But what we are doing, I'm not sure in what iteration I need to go. So if I say, okay, whenever I do some swap, I just need to swap my iteration. So I start going forward, I do swap. So let's take, like, I have done one swap, or you can say just one jump. I just jump to another mapping window. So whenever I do jump, initially I started +1. So whenever you can say, like, here it is going, it was going forward direction. I done the swiping, it will go in the backward direction. So I came over here again. It's a character, so I simply say, okay, print this character. Again, it will go back to this particular thing. Now this is a what? This is a valid parenthesis, or you can say a particular parenthesis. I just need to go to its mapping. You can say mapping pair. So my I will come over here. Whenever I do this swiping, I'll just change its iteration to whatever. Like if it is forward, I'll do backward, or if it is backward, I'll do forward. So it will go again forward now. So if it will go forward, I will come over here. I'll print B. I will come over here. I'll print C. I will again come over here. So if I say I came over here again and I was going forward. So if I go to its pair, it will come here, but now it will change its iteration. So instead of going forward, it will go to backward. I will come over here, it will print this A. I will come over here. Now if you see, it was going backward, but I got this particular bracket. So I just need to go to its mapping partner. So I will came over here. Now it was going backward, so I just need to go to forward. Whenever I go forward, it will go to out of bound condition. That means I just have print the characters. So let me show you with some code example like how I will be like doing this particular sort of thing. So let me remove this particular thing. I will be using the stack again. Okay, and I will be using some mapping. You can say some mapping. I'll use some hash map sort of thing. So for stack, I have simple array. Mapping, I can use my list, or you can say a dictionary, or you can say some hash table. Okay. Similarly, I will be having my result, which will be using some, you can say, normal string, empty string, and I will be using some index. So I might be iterating over something. So from starting to 0, I will be iterating. Now, if you see over here, I just need to do one thing. I just need to have the mappings. So if I say, okay, for I in range, I'll say for I in range till size of S. Okay, for I in range size of S. So whenever I get a opening bracket, so if I say for I in, you can say like for S of I, if it is equals to what? If it is equals to opening bracket, I'll do stack dot you can say append. So I'll just append what? I'll append the I, the index of this opening bracket. Whenever I get you can say s of I equals to what? It is a closing bracket. That means I need to do a swap. So like I don't know what I mean, for now it's like we are having the mapping over here. So whenever I got a closing bracket, so I might be having some I'll take some another variable, like it will be doing what? It will be giving me the first, or you can say last opening bracket. For this particular closing bracket, I just need to get the nearest opening bracket. For this closing one, I need the first nearest opening one. So I'll say stack dot pop. It will give me the nearest, or you can say closest opening one. So I'll say, okay, for this thing, do a mapping. So mapping will be done with uh, like for I, it will be mapped with J. Similarly, J will be mapped with I. So we do like two-way mapping. Whichever comes true, it will be done. So this one, we have done the mapping in order of n using the space complexity also order of n. Now what we will be doing, like we will be iterating, start iterating. I'll say, okay, for while our index is less than to what? Size of s. Okay. Till size of s, like whenever it is not crossing the window, we will be doing the iteration. Now I will be appending our direction over here. Okay. So I'll say direction. dir. Okay. So what is direction over here? We are not sure what is direction. So let's take like, okay, direction will be starting from 1. Let's say, okay, over here direction will be starting from 1, means it is going one step ahead. So I will be doing +1 +1. You mean like I'm just incrementing it by 1. So whenever I got some valid parenthesis, like whenever I will be doing the swiping, the time I will be swiping its polarity. So if it is going forward, means it is doing plus 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 plus, you can say plus plus. Whenever it done swipe, it need to go to backward, means it need to decrement. That means minus minus. So I'll simply say, okay, I'll just multiply it with -1. If it's doing the +1 +1, it will do -1 -1. So let me take it over here. So whenever I'll say, okay, the s of index, okay, whenever this belongs to what? Any of the parentheses. So either opening or closing. Okay, either opening or closing bracket. So what I will be doing, I will be doing direction swap. So I'll say equals to like into -1. So if it is +1, it will be doing -1. If it is -1, it will be doing +1. And we need to do like if this particular index, so if this index is at 0 but its partner at 7 or 8, so I will be swiping this particular index with that particular thing, like I will be jumping towards that index. So I'll say, okay, I'll take this thing, like I'll say, okay, you just need to go to your mapping partner. So I'll say index will become its mapping partner. Okay, this time it will be doing a swap, and at last, like, see, whenever it is a mapping, you can say a particular, you can say a pair of parentheses or any opening or closing parenthesis. I will be doing a swiping or reversing the direction or something. But whenever it is a character, I just need to print. That means I will be like storing it to some result set. So I'll say, okay, plus equals to what? I just need to store its character to some result set, and I will be returning this particular result set at last. Okay, so I'll say return this result. This is the entire code. Let me see, like we have created a result set. Yeah, we have created the result set, and we have done this again in the order of n. Because why? Either we will be doing a forward operation or we will be doing a backward operation. At last, we will be stopping our iteration. So let me compile this code. Let me see whether everything is running fine or not. It is accepted. Let me submit this code and we'll see whether it's compiling completely or not. So if you can see, like it is bit optimized as compared to the last one. If I show you over here, like this was our previous cases, this particular thing. So now it got like very much optimized. So yeah, that's all for today's lecture. Thanks for watching.